podcast.
Hey guys, Joey from Brew Games.
And Adam.
We're on episode 17, titled Green Grass and High Tides.
I wonder why.
Oh, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, I've got for you today the OHaras Irish Stout. This is a beer that I actually had a chance at sampling at the beer fest that was put on by Balscrew Bills.
Yeah.
And almost missed it. But I remembered last year there was that one table with the Flying Badger.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I wonder if they're back and what they have this year. And they weren't quite the same table or rep, but in the same area. Just one over. And found this near the end of the night, and I don't know if it's because I already had lots of drinks and everything was tasting good at that point or not, but I found it quite enjoyable when I did have it. It's coming in at 4.3% alcohol by volume. Beer Advocate gives it an 87, and Rate Beer gives it a 76. This was first brewed in 1999 from the OHaras brewery slash... there's another name for the brewery as well from the town that it's in, which I didn't write down. But the brewery was established in 1996. It's one of the few craft breweries in Ireland. There's just over 20 of them.
Okay.
And
Not very many.
Yeah. And fun little note is that the co-founder of the brewery, Seamus O'Hara, he started the Irish Craft Beer and Cider Festival in 2011.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he's pretty gung-ho about craft beer.
Appears so.
So it was quite interesting to find a craft beer from Ireland when I was at the beer fest.
Yeah.
I would not expect craft beer to come from Ireland.
Which is strange because they do like their beer, but...
Yeah, it was interesting because, like, Ireland used to have tons of breweries, apparently, like, over 200 years ago. But in the last 200 years, that's, like, just really declined. Probably because they got more known for their whiskey and stuff.
I think there's a Simpsons episode about that, how people in Ireland don't drink as much anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Simpsons has done it. So my initial thought is, when I saw the bottle, is Guinness. Not just because it's Irish,
It's
but
the black and gold and, like...
It seems like they're trying to, like, play off the Guinness bottle
Yeah, I think
type
so.
thing.
It definitely catches your eye for sure.
It does, yeah. It's very elegant looking. Tastes, I want to try a sample of this. I'm not entirely sure that it's completely fresh.
Okay.
But to me it tastes a lot lighter than a Guinness. It's not as heavy. It doesn't taste like you're drinking a meal. Like, be easier to drink more of it, I think. But at the same time, it doesn't
I think it's
seem super flavorful to me.
seems pretty much on par with when I had it at the beer fest. Maybe not quite as fresh, but it can't be that old because when I was at the beer fest, it was just landing in Canada.
Okay.
So it might be a month or two old now. But
So it's totally fine. That's the way it's supposed to taste.
I think it's
then.
supposed to taste like that, yeah. It's a beer where, like, you don't have much at the forefront, but then just what happens afterwards and lingers on.
It does.
I find like the flavor starts to come out after.
I get like a coffee type aftertaste to me. And I do love coffee. I'm not totally loving this though.
No?
I gotta say, yeah.
Okay.
Not that it's bad. I can't see myself picking this up again.
Yeah?
I can't put my finger on it, but it's... I think I'm getting like a stale coffee kind of aftertaste, if that's...
Okay. So would you compare this to, and would you rather have that?
What would I compare it to? Good question.
Like, they're going for like a Guinness look.
Yeah.
So how would it compare to a Guinness?
I would much rather have a Guinness,
Okay.
personally. I don't know about yourself. You've had this, so...
It's kind of hard to compare because of that coffee taste that's in there, right? If this didn't have that coffee taste in it, then definitely, yeah, Guinness. But that being said, we've had other, coffee stouts on the show, which were just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
maybe we've been spoiled by those.
Possibly.
Could be what it is.
Now, the price on this one was about $5.50 a bottle.
Okay. For a 600 ml? 500 ml.
500 ml, yeah. So, half liter, proper pint.
How does that compare to Guinness? It's been a while since I bought.
Well, Guinness usually only comes in
Guinness.
like the 4-pack
The 4
cans,
packs or
right?
8 packs, yeah.
And the 4-pack can,
They're $12, aren't they?
I think it's a bit higher now.
16.
Probably floating around $15-16.
$4 each. Okay, so close to the same price, maybe a little bit more expensive. But
Yeah. So you don't recommend it?
Give it a try, I guess, but I can't see myself picking it up again personally. But it's okay. We're here to try new beers, right?
Yeah, of course.
Some we'll like, some we may not. But the beer I got for you is from 8 Wired in New Zealand. It's the Wireless Black IPA.
Okay.
So I'll let you open and pour that while I talk a little bit about it. So this beer is made with 100% Brettanomyces, which is, if you make beer, you're used to this being like something you don't want in your beer. It's like a bacteria contaminant.
Okay.
But 8 Wired has purposely taken this strain of yeast and made a beer out of it. So this is traditionally used in the second aging process of like a sour beer normally, but this isn't what makes it sour. So this will not be a sour beer.
Okay, good.
Don't get It's an IPA. They say they added a lot of American hops to it, so it's gonna be like a West Coast IPA. But I'm
getting a lot of pine through the nose right now.
But they say the Brettanomyces has like reduced the hoppiness of it. So when they do this again, they're gonna add more hops, make it more of a true IPA.
Okay.
So there's no score on Rate Beer or Beer Advocate. It's that new, I guess.
Okay.
They also have a regular IPA, just not a black IPA, which we might try off camera to compare. But
yeah. Okay.
I'll let you think a little bit more about it while I lose my notes. I'll talk a little quick bit about 8 Wired. They're from New Zealand. Started in 2011, I think. It was one guy who, his wife got him a craft beer kit, or a beer making kit.
Okay.
He wanted to open his own brew pub. So he went to work at a brewery to learn how to do it.
Okay.
And he realized he didn't have the capital or experience to do it.
Right.
So he stayed on at that same place, and then they let him use their equipment when they weren't using it to make beer. So that's how they got started. And according to, is it Beer Advocate or Rate Beer? They were labeled one of the 100 best brewers in the world, according to ratebeer.com.
Okay.
But they were the only brewery from the Southern Hemisphere, which is surprising, but not surprising at the same time.
Yeah.
When you think of all like Europe is Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, because
States
you don't
is
really
Northern
see
Hemisphere.
anything from South America, for instance, other than like macro breweries, right?
You get Foster's from Australia, but
yeah. Well, that would be another macro, wouldn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, is it doing just craft beers, or is it all beer?
It says 100 best brewers in the world.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the list, but it was kind of surprising that they were the only one from the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any beers from 8 Wired. I think I've seen them before, but I haven't had them. So how is it?
It's interesting. I think it might be because of the type of yeast that they're using. The
Brettanomyces.
the bad yeast that's no longer bad, as it says on the back. The nose, like I said, a lot of pine coming through, and then the taste as well. A lot of that pine, but it's almost like an artificial pine. Like, I don't know if they're using just hop extract or if they're using actual hops.
I think they're using actual hops.
Because to me, it seems like it's...
I think I had it here somewhere.
almost a little bit artificial. I don't know if you want to give it a sip. Mouthfeel, a little bit weird, a little bit like kind of like a... Gives a weird coating on your mouth. Almost kind of oily in a way. But all that being said, it's actually a good beer. I enjoy it.
I like it too.
It's just, it's different, and I think it's because of that yeast. Now, you mentioned that they want to go back to this and add more hops.
Yeah.
If they did like a dry hop afterwards,
That could do it, yeah.
I think would really turn this one around and get past those two little issues I have.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, if they did a dry hop, just to pound some more hops on top of it, get that coming through a bit better than the way it's coming through now, I think it'd be a perfect beer.
That said, I'm really liking it right now. Like
Yeah.
I like black lagers, black IPAs, so I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, me too. For black IPAs I've had before, this would be like probably my number 2. So pretty high up there, and I've had probably 5 to 8 of them so far. So
Nice.
it's not like I had one before and this one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I've had black IPAs that were not so great. I actually think one of them was in that Brews Brothers case.
Okay.
I think it's the one I wasn't too keen on. Was the black IPA they had in there?
So that's the one from this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The volume 2.
So you've been putting those on Facebook?
Yeah, so on our Facebook, facebook.com/brewgames, I believe it is.
I think so.
We'll make sure to put a link, as we always do. Yeah. How much did you pay for this?
That's where this gets loses points, I guess. It's a 600 ml bottle, and I paid $12.40 for it, so it's a little pricey.
Okay, but now with the new syntax on beer that's outside of the magical 3 provinces, I've seen bottles going up quite a bit in price.
Right.
Floating around this number, so that doesn't surprise me too much.
I mean, it's coming all the way from New Zealand. So.
Yeah, so I would definitely say try this at least once. Pay the $12.40 at least once.
Yep.
Give it a try. You might love it. You might think, meh, I'd never buy it again. But at least try it. At least have this experience, because what they're doing with that yeast that historically has been a bad yeast, they're turning it around, making it useful. So
It's
kudos
very
to
cool.
them.
I think that's all of their wireless series is the made with this yeast. They have at least 2 others that they're doing with this, if not more. It's a farmhouse ale and the regular IPA.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, that'll wrap it up for the beers.
I think it does.
And we'll go on to the games. So you challenged me to
The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3. And I've have some issues with this game, but we'll get to that. So it's a movie, basically. Very little interaction. When it comes to the storyline, I guess, like, there's also like side quests you can go and do and stuff like that, but when you're working on the main quest line, it's mostly cutscenes, and you're sitting there waiting for it to go through, and then it finally gives you control for maybe a minute or 2, and then it takes you back into another like cutscene. So much like, what was it, Metal Gear Solid 4? I think there was a big issue that people had with that game, is that it was just a movie that you sometimes got to interact with. I feel that way with this game so far. Only a couple hours into it, but I don't know if I'm just not in the mood for this type of game, or if it's just not for me. But I just wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
Maybe because it was doing so much of that cinematic stuff that was making me upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, combat system takes a while to get used to, and because you only get to combat for like a tiny amount, and then you're waiting for cutscenes, you don't really get a feel for the combat system properly until you pour quite a few hours into this game, I feel.
Okay.
And it's not like you can just go in and hack and slash stuff, because most of the time you get surrounded. Like, you won't just be like a one-on-one enemy. There'll be multiple enemies.
And do they all attack at once, or is it like...
Yeah, so like they'll take advantage of your back being exposed. So if you start like going attacking one of them, they'll circle around you and then try and attack you from behind to disrupt your attack on the one guy, and then your health goes down quite quickly in this game. And
Okay.
to get health back, like you have potions you can make. Looks like there's a huge crafting system, which I didn't even like get into yet. But there's a lot in this game to learn, and you could probably, if you enjoy this game, you could probably easily spend 100 hours in it.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Like from friends and from Reddit.
Yeah.
That's-
Like there's so much side stuff you can do. So yeah, story seems okay so far. I just got to a point where the beginning opening scene that you have, which is like a dream, that's starting to tie into the main story now a little bit. So that was kind of interesting to see. Graphics are really nice. Not a fan of the default walk speed though. Like when you first start off the game, like it's a slow like walk, but as you get further progress into the game, it turns into like a sort of a jog.
Yeah.
And so when you're wanting to walk up to something that is just outside of your like reach to like use it,
Yeah.
you push forward, and then you might like jog either too close so you can't push E, or go past it, and then you gotta like walk back and forth a bit
Okay.
to like try and get there, and then
And there's no like shift to walk type deal?
well, if you push shift then you run.
Okay.
So you go even faster, which is not helpful. Maybe there's a key that I'm missing that will make you like slow down and just like do like a really like slow like creep maybe.
Maybe.
If there is, if I can find that, that might actually improve my experience with the game. But when you're walking forward and you want to walk backwards, your character can't be like, say in CSGO where you push backwards, you just like automatically flip around. He actually has to maneuver like a real human being would do. And like, kind of like, well, not even that way, because he won't walk just straight backwards sometimes. He'll try and turn around to walk that way.
Yeah.
So he has to like make side steps and like do like a proper circle
Okay.
to get
Yeah.
around. So like that kind of maneuvering
Just
in
to go
some
up and
areas is just like really annoying.
to use something, yeah.
Yeah, or like you're like on a path and then you have to like get up on a ledge or whatever, but maybe it's too high to jump up onto, so you have to like try and navigate to like this. It's pretty steep, so you have to like go around this like little bit of an edge. But the way, I don't know, it's weird. It's awkward for me.
Okay.
Maybe with a controller it might be better.
Might be.
I might actually try that.
It is
I
a
might
console
hook up
game, right?
a controller to my PC and see if maybe the controls feel different that way. But with keyboard and mouse, yeah, a little bit clunky there. What else do I want to say about it? I think that's about it, yeah. Gorgeous game, runs well, but I think for me, just it's not for me. Like, if I was to compare this with a game that I've been playing recently that's kind of the same, would be like Fallout 4.
Okay, yeah.
I'd rather play Fallout 4 than
Fair
this
enough.
game right now. But like I said, if I get more into this, maybe it'll be different. The dialogue system actually is kind of interesting, where you can have multiple choices, but it's basically just information gathering, and you can choose to bypass all that information gathering, or actually go through each option, and then they'll gray out as you do them.
Yep.
So you got everything that person can say, and then you go forward with the progressing conversation. So, yeah. Would I recommend it? If you played Witcher before and you like those games, you're gonna love this game. If not, I don't know. You have to be like into this kind of style of game, I think. It's like everyone's gonna have a different reaction to this game, I think.
Okay.
Which I think was the same thing with the original Witcher. Like, there were some people that absolutely loved it. There's lots of people that just didn't care for it. It just wasn't for them.
I never played any of them,
Yeah,
so I don't know. But
Yeah. If you can find it for, I don't think you can find it for $20 yet, because it's still a pretty recent game. About a year old now,
something like that, yeah. But
just over a
I
year
don't
maybe.
feel like I would have paid a whole lot more than $20 for it, considering I still haven't played it. But
Yeah, and I noticed that like, we both had it, and I think it's because the winter sale had all three Witchers bundled together. I think for
Okay.
maybe like $50 or something. So
Okay.
I know it wasn't like super cheap, but it was cheap enough that
We both got it.
we both got it. We both don't remember actually buying it, but that winter sale was just full of crap. So I think it's just something that we're like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
I want to buy something during this winter sale,
That's right.
and nothing is like worthwhile. And then we saw that and we're like, okay, click it, and didn't even think twice about it.
Then you feel like you got something out of it.
Yeah.
You didn't waste the sale by not buying anything.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my review. Like I said, it's not a bad game, but just not for me.
Fair enough. That's I think that's 2 or 3 games now that I've challenged you to that you're not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Really missing the mark here.
So I got you to play Road Redemption, which is kind of like Road Rash reimagined, trying to be recreated, something like that.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'd never played Road Rash, so I'll do a quick explanation of what Road Redemption is. And I'm assuming Road Rash is the same. You're on a motorcycle and you're racing through the streets with traffic, and there's other guys on bikes, and you're racing them, but you also want to take them out, I guess. You can have guns or like baseball bats or whatever kind of weapons to take them out, or you can just race ahead of them and beat them.
Yeah, you want to win by any means
Necessary. Yeah. So that's what it is. This was a Kickstarter to make this game.
Okay.
Based on the Road Rash, like you said. And so as soon as I jumped into it, there's no real tutorial, and you don't need one because it's quite simple. It's early access still.
Okay.
So there's a few features not quite finished, but it's kind of like Faster Than Light if you played that, in that you try to do a run through like to the end.
Okay.
Like beating each level on the way, and then you get upgrades for that run through.
Okay.
But once you die, whether you beat it or you don't, you lose all those upgrades. You have to start over, but all the experience you gathered, you can choose a few unlocks.
Okay.
To carry through to the next one.
Okay.
So you basically have to try beating this game a few times, building your guy up at the end each time to get further and further, grinding almost.
Okay.
Until you're good enough at the game and your character is strong enough to get to the end. So it took me 4 or 5 times to get to the end of the early access part, but it didn't feel like a grind. It was actually a lot of fun.
Okay, good.
So they've done really well with making it easy to play. Almost too easy to stay on the road.
Okay.
Because if you're only focusing on staying on the road, it's pretty much impossible to fly off, even if you're going maximum speed around the tightest corner. You pretty much can't. There's like you always have grip. You're never gonna spin out or go off the road. It's I don't know, unrealistic that way, I guess. But
well, that's probably where they're trying to match up with Road Rash, because like with Road Rash, you could like hit the corner, and you would just it kind of like push you along, kind of like arcade style game.
Yeah.
So probably following that.
Right. Unless you really get distracted trying to take someone out. So I checked the Kickstarter page after playing it for a bit and see that they have a new update coming out shortly.
Okay.
With boss fights, more levels, because it was starting to get a little, like, the levels were starting to feel repetitive in that you either race or you take out as many guys as you can type thing. Those are the only 2 game options, really.
Okay.
As you make it to the end. So they're bringing in more of those. As well as more like a better AI, new storyline, and all that. So I'm excited to see what that will bring. And my other comment is this felt a lot more polished than I thought it would be for an early access game. Like I started up the game and then realized my controller wasn't plugged in, so I was navigating the menus with my keyboard.
Right.
I plugged my Xbox One controller into the USB, and it knew right away. It just switched. I didn't have to map any keys to play the game.
Okay.
I didn't have to tell it I want to use a controller now. It just knew.
Okay.
And immediately in the middle of the menus, I was using the controller now.
Nice.
And it was awesome. I didn't see any bugs or anything for the 3 hours-ish that I played it, so I think they're doing pretty good, to be
on the right
honest.
track, yeah. That's awesome.
So I got to the end of the the early access storyline, I guess, as far as it'll take you.
Yeah.
And there's a sign saying, "I hope you enjoy the game. Here is Ian Fish's home phone number." And it's like the phone number of the developer.
Okay.
Or one of the developers.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, let's give him a call. Let's see what happens. So I called him.
Okay.
And he picked up.
Okay.
And we chatted for a bit. I told him about Brew Games. Told him what we're doing here. Told him I was playing his game. Asked him a few questions, like why did he pick Road Rash to copy?
Right.
And he had two reasons, which are both very good, I think. The first one is they wanted to bring back an old game, but a lot of the old games are like copyrighted for IPs, right? Like a lot of people want to. A lot of people say, "Oh, I wish they would remake Ratchet and Clank."
Yeah.
Well, you can't just go make a Ratchet and Clank game. You need to,
you'll get sued.
Yeah. So this is more of a style of a game that they can do without getting sued.
Yeah.
And the other one was they thought that with new technology they could do a lot more with this style of game.
Okay.
The Road Rash style of game.
Right.
You have new physics engines now. There's a lot more things you can do with the game.
Right.
As well as VR. So they have a demo video of them using an Oculus Rift where they're driving around and looking around with the Oculus Rift, and it looks pretty cool. And so I talked to him about that, and he said they've now switched from the Oculus Rift to the Vive.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to look around with the Oculus Rift, but you're still using a controller.
Right.
Whereas with the Vive, I think it detects hand motions or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. I haven't done too much looking into it, but yeah.
So you can actually like swing the bat rather than...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
That's pretty cool.
that would be awesome, I think, as long as you got enough space around your computer. Don't just take someone out when you're...
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, chatted for like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's very nice of him to answer my questions. So I had one last question for him, and that was, what's his favorite kind of beer?
Yeah.
And he said Newcastle.
Okay.
So I was going to pick some up for us to have on here, but the store was sold out, so...
Newcastle is a good beer, though.
It is good beer.
Yeah, whenever our buddy, or your roommate, Steve, and our buddy Doug, they go to Alice Pizza, which is just up the road from here. I always order a Newcastle, because they have it on tap.
Nice.
So I get a pint of Newcastle, and I get a double neat OHaras, and that's what I drink when I'm there.
Nice.
Because I don't know if I should say this, but the OHaras is super cheap there. Nice. It's like most places would charge you close to $20 a shot for that. Right? Like $15-20 a shot for that. You can get a double for like $9.
Really?
It's like more insane than Sammy's. I didn't think I could find a place that would beat Sammy's for insane liquor prices. But Alice Pizza, if you are a Scotch guy, OHaras, you can get a double for like $9. It's insane.
Nice. And then if anyone's watching from the States, they're like, what? That's super expensive. What's wrong with you? How is that a good deal?
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because they're based in New Orleans. So that's one thing I forgot to say. So
yeah.
I told him we'd send him a link to this when we're done, so we'll do that.
Yeah, for sure. So he likes our stuff.
Yeah.
We like his game.
And we like his game, or I like his game. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I played a little bit before, and I enjoyed it. That's why I wanted to see what you thought. So, yeah. That's awesome.
It's you can still get it's $20 for early access, or you can pay $70 for I forget what they call it, but you get a few other things like the soundtrack, and you can actually name a character in the game.
Okay.
So like you see when you take out an enemy, it's like you took out, John Smith, something, whatever names people have picked. You can see some names in there already that people have picked.
Okay. So
it'd be kind of cool to have your own name in there.
So you kind of you're kind of like a producer then for the game.
Yeah.
Like $70, you're a producer. You get to have some decision making on the project itself. That's good. That's cool.
So even though the Kickstarter is funded, I think it's you buy that through Steam, and they work it out somehow. I don't know.
Cool.
So yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with that new update. And, with the full release.
So they're still just single player right now, right?
You can have split screen multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no online yet.
Online is coming with this new patch with the bosses and everything.
Nice.
Should be cool. I think they're also making it for the Xbox and the PS4.
Sweet.
So.
Yeah, they would probably do really well in those two platforms, I think.
I think so too. But,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely update you guys on the new update
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
and where it's going. So we'll keep you guys updated on that stuff. That'll wrap it up for our reviews, and we'll go on to the challenges.
Sure.
So I'm going to challenge you. I'm pretty sure you haven't played this game, but it's a game that I played. In fact, it was a game that I played at Mega FPS and ignored everyone until I had my little fill of it, and it's Watch Dogs.
Okay, nice. I have
So,
not played it.
Yeah,
I've seen you play it. I know how much you liked it.
yeah. I fell in love with that game. I know like this game gets a bad rap from a lot of people. It had its issues. There was the whole graphic situation where they dumbed down the graphics for PC because they didn't want the PC to over excel the Xbox One or the PS4. Really dumb decision by Ubisoft, but there was patches out there that modders made where that it unlocked all those options that you saw in like the E3 demos.
Right,
That was what
yeah.
people said because in the E3 demos, this game looked beautiful. It had like depth of field and all this like clutter and everything else. And then when the game released, it was just like barren wasteland. It's like, what happened? And Ubisoft was like, well, we can't like give PC the advantage over Xbox One and PS4. And to that, I'm just like,
Yeah, no kidding.
you know, like I don't care. Like people buy a PS4 and Xbox One for the simplicity and for the cost. And then there's people who will spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on their computers because they want to push
The extra.
everything to the max, right? They want to see everything at the best it can be. Like we want to push technology forward. So yeah, that's I could go on for a long time about that. But yeah, I want to see what you think of Watch Dogs. See if
Nice.
you enjoy it like I did, or if you're going to be a hater like other people.
We'll find out, I guess.
So yeah,
Okay, I look forward to it.
awesome.
The first game I picked for you, I think we talked about, but I forget what the answer was because my memory is awful.
Okay.
So I don't know if you played this already, so I do have a backup one.
Okay.
If you have. L.A. Noire.
We have talked about this, and I have not played it yet.
Okay, perfect.
This is a game that we mentioned that I have it both on PC as well as Xbox 360, and never touched either of them. But it's a game that I always wanted to play. I just never got around to playing it.
Nice.
So
Well, now you can.
nice, awesome.
So this one you will have to play through pretty much the whole way for it all to kind of tie together.
Yeah. So I've seen like little snippets of people like having certain conversations throughout the game because it's a game where like you can you're basically a detective, right?
Yeah.
So you can be nice asking people things, trying to see if they're going to tell you the truth, or you can be mean about it and you like try and call out for lying or not. So and I believe it is a Rockstar game, right?
It is, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's awesome.
Nice. Well, there you go.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So L.A. Noire and Watch Dogs.
Okay. That wraps up the challenges. We'll go into some news for us.
That's right. We have big news.
Yeah, so as we mentioned in the last episode, there's Lords of the Land. However, when we were recording that episode, they had a date set. Then you'll see in the overlay in the description that they actually got pushed back to October. They got some things with the some of the staff that it just is not going to pan out for the May long weekend. And you know what? That's okay, because I think historically myself, I know that May long weekend doesn't really work for LAN parties.
No, I know that as well.
I used
found that as
to
well.
run LAN again. You run Mega FPS, like May long weekends. Even when people like say they're going out and you find out they stayed home anyways, people just don't want to commit to something for May long weekend. So, I think it just was a bad date time anyways. So, them pushing it back just to give them more time to properly hold this festival. So I think that's really good.
Yeah.
But the news that we want to talk about is that we are sponsoring Frigate Palooza.
That too.
So Frigate Palooza is a LAN party that's been running for 20 years now. So this year is our 20th anniversary. It's
I've been going
insane
for-
that it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I've been going for 13 of them, I think.
Yeah, I've been going for probably, let's see, 15 of them.
Nice.
I think 2001 was my first. So yeah, 15 years of Frigate Palooza, which is just bonkers. So we're sponsoring in a big way. We're going to be providing over $500 in prizes. We're going to have a table set up. We're going to have Super Bomberman 2 for the Super Nintendo with a multi-tap set up. So we can have 4 to 5 players playing Bomberman. We might tie that into some kind of tournament to give away some other stuff. We're working on T-shirts for the event.
Some other stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, we're super pumped for that. So Frigate Palooza, first weekend of August in Leduc.
Second weekend of August. 11th.
Is it the second?
The first week, yeah, the first is like on Sunday or something, isn't it? Not that weekend, whatever it is.
Yeah, anyways, I'll make sure to have, the overlay in the description. FrigatePalooza.com. It's the website. Check it out. Sign up. Prepay.
Yeah.
We may have tickets to give away in a future episode. Still working out some of the finer details of the sponsorship.
That'd be cool, because those are like $100 each. So.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have some of that for you guys. What else do we have for news?
Special guest?
Got a special guest. So next episode, if you guys know what pure ownage is, you'll be very excited to see who's going to be on our show. I'm not going to say who it is. You'll just have to tune in.
Find out.
Yeah. We're actually going through a little bit of a rebranding in a way that you don't even know about. It's happened very recently. We've obtained the domain brewgames.ca.
Nice.
So I was talking with some people and they're like, .org, why .org? Like, are you a non-profit? And it's like, we're not doing this for profit, but he had a point. Like, why would you do .org when you're trying to do, like, something like this?
Right.
And why not show off that we're Canadian, right? We have no qualms with being Canadian. We're not trying to hide it. We're not afraid of Trump. So I went out there. I got brewgames.ca. So if you type in www.brewgames.ca, it just forwards to the .org right now. I got to see what might happen when we flip everything over, if posts will break and stuff on the website.
Right.
But yeah, we got that, and then we'll probably end up having email on that domain as well. Just make it look a little bit nicer than having a Gmail account.
Sounds good.
So just trying to make our brand stronger.
Cool. Sounds good. We can
So-
run it through Gmail still and do it for free, up to 15 emails or something.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll have it'll be, contact at brewgames.ca instead of brewsandgames@gmail.com. It'll still go to the Gmail, but we're not going to give up the Gmail account. We'll still have both accounts.
Okay.
But it'll just make things a little bit nicer for people.
No. It'll seem professional.
Look a little cleaner and stuff. Yeah. And actually, I'm in talks with a couple people, hoping that maybe we can do a trip to Austin this year.
That was what your Facebook post is about.
Yeah, and check
Yes.
out Austin Beer Works. So they're a brewery down in Austin that, from what I've seen in the past couple of years, is a really, really cool place. So
Nice.
that'll go towards the brewery reports and stuff.
I like Texas.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I've never been, so it'll be fun to go check it out.
Yeah.
And I think that wraps it up for the news we have. If you guys want to send us anything that you want us to talk about or have questions for us,
Or games to play.
or games to play, beers to try, I'm at Jay Evans.
I'm at Alpha Drake.
Our main Twitter is at Brews and Games. You can contact us at brewsandgames@gmail.com.
For now.
Go to our website, brewgames.ca.
Nice.
Check out our Facebook. And until next time,
Till next time. Thanks for watching.
cheers.
Cheers. Hello and welcome to the episode 17 after show. I'm still Adam,
I'm still Joe Evans.
and Joe has gotten us the Patrolmans ESB by Two Sergeants Brewing out of Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, right by Edmonton. So this is dedicated to an Edmonton officer who died in the line of duty. I'll let you read the bottle there.
Yeah, so on the evening of June 8th, 2015, Constable Daniel Woodall of the Edmonton Police Service was killed in the line of duty while trying to execute an arrest warrant. His violent death shocked the community. It also reminded us of the unspoken dangers faced daily by frontline officers in modern policing. This beer was brewed for Constable Woodall, but is dedicated to every officer who puts their life on the line for the safety of others. A donation will be made to the D. Woodall Family Fund with the purchase of this product, and the beer was made possible by the support from Craft Beer Market and Jet Labels.
There you go.
So, picked up 2 of them. We found these actually at Craft Cellars. Staple for me, obviously. Go there quite often. And just found it today, actually. So,
right on.
New on the shelf. You got a little bit of history about the brewery?
Just a little bit. They are quite new. Kevin and Keith are the founding guys of this. They're having a beer in their garage in August of 2014. And Kevin learned that his 23-year military career was coming to an end for medical reasons. So he talked about wanting to brew beer. And Keith also talked about wanting to have a brewery or a brew pub. So they got together, and as of October 2015, they founded Two Sergeants Brewing out of Fort Saskatchewan. That's the first brewery in Fort Saskatchewan, actually.
So, I mean, you can't get much fresher of a beer than this, right?
Yeah, that's
Brewery's
right.
only like 6 to 8 months old.
That's right.
And their beer here is an ESB.
Quite cloudy.
Extra special bitter. You getting much through the...
No.
I did when I was pouring it. When I poured it, I smelled it, but now it's like...
Oh, it's starting to come back.
A little bit of sweetness coming through. Anyways, cheers. To Woodall and his family. I took a bigger gulp than I should have. That being
not
said,
bad.
though, yeah.
Very easy drinking. Well, when you take reasonably sized gulps,
Yeah,
that is.
when you do proper drinking and not just going all in.
You said this was $5
I think it's like $5.67 or something.
for a 650 mil.
650 mil.
It's not a bad deal at all.
Honestly, they're short selling themselves in a way, I think. I find this would be worth more than that. If they charge $8 for this, I'd pay no problem.
Yeah, I would too. That said, they are brand new. They probably want people to learn about the brewery. They're probably willing to take a bit of a hit for
get
their name out
make it
there.
accessible because people be like, $8, I've never heard of this before.
Not worth the risk, but $5.
Not worth the risk. $5, people be like, craft beer at this price nowadays. We're looking at anything between $8 and $30.
40, yeah.
$40. Like our buddy PK at Booze Reviews recently purchased the Molotov Heavy. Insane beer. 17.2%.
Evil Twin, right? Yeah.
Evil Twin Brewery Molotov Cocktail Heavy. 17.2%.
That's pretty great.
That's insane. Anyways, we're not talking about that beer. We're talking about this beer.
That's right.
Patrolmans ESB. For an ESB, I think they nailed the style.
Yep.
Some purists might say, but you know what? I think for being a brand new brewery,
This is fantastic.
this is good.
This is, I think I'm going to pay these guys a visit next time I'm in Edmonton. Because
Yeah, they definitely deserve it.
they, if they keep putting out stuff like this, they're going to be big, I think.
Yeah. That was awesome. Label's not the most attractive thing, but you know what? That's okay.
It doesn't jump out at you. That's the thing. I feel like if you're going to go with the black silhouette, maybe be lighter.
Yeah, because when I first picked this up, I thought it has nothing to do with like firefighters because they're using like that red sky. I'm thinking like firefighters, and then after I picked it up, I realized it's
Police.
for police, patrolmen, right? But definitely pick this up, regardless if it's in support, but especially because it's in support.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
And $5, 60 cents, you can't go wrong.
It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So, cheers, Two Sergeants. Awesome beer.
Cheers.
And good on you for doing like a beer that goes towards a fund, right?
Especially so early in the like in your business, right?
Yeah.
When,
Like
I'm sure income is.
I don't
tight
know
as
if you
it
guys
is,
have
so
other beers yet, or if this was your first one out the door, but
keep an eye out.
yeah, for sure. And we'll be getting in touch with you hopefully,
Yeah, be good.
and making a visit.
Sounds good.
Well,
Until then,
till then,
cheers.
cheers.